Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I just upgraded my iPhone to the new iOS 17. I've made a what's on my iPhone video. Like when I started this channel, it was actually the iOS 15 still, I think. So now I'm gonna do an updated version of the iOS 17. Let's just get into it. First of all, I'm gonna show you the new features of the iOS 17, and then I'm gonna give you guys a tour of what's on my iPhone. You know, the usual. Okay, so the first feature that I noticed after I upgraded my iOS was that on my contact section for my contact info, my card, I can edit it like this. So whenever I call someone or send someone an iMessage, this will be the icon that pops up. And I know just the name and the icon have been available for the previous iOS versions, but the card itself is the new one. So I currently only have this like memoji of myself. It looks just like me, and also I love the color in the background. But let me show you how you can customize it even more interestingly. I'm just gonna create a new one, and I can add a photo of myself. I'm gonna look for the good one. Okay, I'm gonna use this photo. I actually posted this one on my Instagram too. You can follow me if you haven't. I can edit the font of my name over here. I'm actually just gonna put Rani over there. I can choose which font I have. Okay, there are only 4 different types of fonts. I thought that there'd be more, just like the lock screen options, but I'm gonna use this one. It looks elegant. I can also choose the color. I think I'm gonna go with something similar from the background. I'm gonna use this dark brown color. Okay, so that's how it's gonna look like when I call someone. Oh, and you don't have to worry because like you can choose the option to be shared automatically for contacts only, so when you call someone that you don't know, it's not gonna show your photo. The next feature that is like completely new is the standby option. For the standby mode, if you plug your iPhone to the charger and then you tilt your phone horizontally, you're gonna have to wait a couple of seconds for this, but it will then start showing this. This is the standby mode. You can slide it and it will show different stuff. This is like the default one. You can also slide it this way and it will change into this, and you actually have a lot of options for this. You have this type of clock. This one you can change the colors too, just like this. I actually like this color though. And then you have this one. This one is also pretty cute. You can also change the colors. And lastly, you have this one. Again, you can change the colors. It's pretty cute. But yeah, this one is my favorite. It's pretty simple. So over here like this, it looks like a legit small clock that looks good on my desk. The next thing is that we have an interactive widget. So for example, I have this little to-do list widget on my home screen, and before the iOS 17 we would have to like click on the widget and then mark them as completed, but now we can just click on it from our lock screen and it would do the job. And I think we can do that for other widgets as well, but like this is the widget that I use because I feel like this is like the useful one for myself. Just to show you quickly how to do it, how to create this widget, which I believe that most of you might have already known. You can just go to your reminders and add a new list, which I would name as, let's just do reminders, and we can choose like the color and the icon, and then you can add like edit this video and get groceries. You can add like this new widget, small one. I'm gonna put it down here. You can click edit widget and you can choose which widget you want. So I'm gonna put the new one, the reminders, and that's it. The next new thing that I noticed is on iMessage. So like instead of having the options below the text bar, if that makes sense, you have this plus button and then it will show all these options like camera, photos, stickers, audio, location, and more, which if you use iMessage often, you would notice that this wasn't here before. And yeah, pretty much that is all the new features of iOS 17. I feel like it's not that different from the 16, especially because we got like the new lock screen feature for the iOS 16 already, and I believe that there are still more new features for the iOS 17, but I'm like telling you guys from my perspective of my daily use without actually like going deep into all of these specific new features. So if you use your iPhone for the same purposes as I do, that might be all that is like significant for you too. Okay, now for this next part, let's do a good old what's on my iPhone. Okay, so firstly, this is my lock screen. I like to use something simple for my lock screen, and I actually put this quote on my lock screen, which is a Taylor Swift lyric. It's probably one of my favorite lyrics of all time, "To live for the hope of it all," from August. So I just found this scenic photo from Pinterest, and then I added the lock screen, and I only have the time and date on my lock screen, and then I put like this battery widget and alarm so that I can easily turn on my alarm. And then this is the time zone for Jakarta, so I can know what time it is for my friends and family at home. Okay, now let's get into my home screen. I usually have like this cute widgetsmith widgets on my home screen, but now I decided not to do that and just have all of these widgets that are originally available from iPhone itself. On the top, I have this medium widget of the weather app, because ever since I moved to Melbourne, the weather has been like so unpredictable, and I feel like I need to have this widget to check what's the weather like before I go out. And then underneath the weather app, I have the Spotify widget, which no matter how different I'm gonna rearrange my layout for my home screen, I would always have this widget because I just listen to music all the time. So I need it to be like very easy to click, and I just love how it shows like the last album or playlist that I played. So I don't know, I really like how it looks on my home screen. And as you can see, I just listened to Madison Beer's new album. I'm obsessed with it, it's so good. And then right next to it, I have the battery widget, which right now only shows the battery of my phone, but if I connect it with my AirPod or other devices, the battery of my AirPod would show next to it too. And underneath this one, I just have all of my most used apps, so it's accessible, you know. I would just easily click it without like sliding to the next page of my home screen. I have the messages, photos, Instagram, Google Maps, YouTube Notes, and then 2 folders of social medias, which are just like, you know, all the social medias that I have. Right next to it, I have the productivity apps, which is basically apps that I use or like that are related to either my work or college. I'm actually gonna slide to this page first. So I have my screen time, just so I can check it out easily if I've been on my phone too much. And then right underneath it, I just put 2 widgets. The one on the left is actually just a photo widget. It shows this photo from We the Urban. It's very simple. It just says, "Focus on you, try to stay present, and don't lose yourself," because I feel like that's such a good reminder for me, especially now that I'm living alone abroad. And then right next to it, it's actually a Pinterest widget, which I use my minimalist board. I have the link for my Pinterest profile on my description box, so you can check out my boards. You can use it for your widgets too. You basically just need to choose the user. It will show all the people that you follow, and then you can click on which board you want to use for your widget, and then you can also pick if you want this widget to update the photos daily or hourly. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So this is all the pages that I have for my home screen, just because I don't want to have too much, and I put most of my apps on folders, so it's just neat. On the top side of this page, I have this Pinterest widget. I just put the medium widget, and I actually didn't choose which board to use, so they really randomly put 3 photos here based on my home page on Pinterest. Lucky for me, I have like these aesthetic photos, just because mostly I use Pinterest for like aesthetic purposes. So yeah, the photos that shows up here are always aesthetic. Maybe there's like a little bit of memes every now and then, but that's fine. I organized my apps based on like the function of it. So first up here, I have my emails, and then next to it, I have the apps that I use to edit my photos and videos. I have Fonto for my thumbnail, and then PixArt just to, you know, we can do a lot of things with PixArt. And for preview, I usually like to see how the layout of my Instagram looks like when I try to upload a new photo. For example, I'm gonna like try this photo, and then it's gonna look like that, and oh my god, it actually looks cute. I'm gonna post this photo. I don't like adding filters to my photos, so I usually just use Lightroom to like adjust the brightness, contrast, all the lighting stuff, just like that. And then Pixel Cut. This app is really helpful for me because like I like to use the magic eraser. For example, as you can see, there are a lot of people in the background, and I can just do this and bam, he's gone. And yeah, you know VSCO, even though I don't like adding filters to my photos, sometimes when I'm in the mood I might, but rarely. And then I use VN to edit videos for Reels or TikTok. It's pretty easy to use. And then next to it I have the delivery/transport, which if you can see, this is a mix of Indonesian and Australian apps. Oh, and by the way, I like to just use a plain background for my home screen just because it looks more simple and minimalist, which I like. Next I have memberships for both my Indonesian and Australian provider and some of my other membership stuff. On extras I have Spotify and stats for Spotify just because I like to randomly see my Spotify stats. So you know this Spotify Wrapped feature by the end of the year that Spotify keeps out, and it's really fun. You can see like your top artists and top songs. Well, I'm that kind of girl who I highly monitor mine throughout the year just for fun. So you can see like your top songs for the last 4 weeks, 6 months, and lifetime. Also your top artists. I'm actually just checking this now after weeks of not checking it, and this is a bit surprising to see Olivia Rodrigo is up on the 7th. I've been listening to Guts a lot lately. Okay, anyway, you can also subscribe to the premium plan for this. It's just a one-time purchase type of thing, and if you do that, you can actually see the top listeners for each artist or each tracks, and you can see how many minutes or how many times you've played certain songs, so it's actually interesting. And Flow is a period tracker app, and then I have Muslim Pro to check out the prayer times. The day before is if you have an interesting event coming up, you can create a widget from it and it will show you how many days you have left until the event. It's just a fun thing. And then for the shopping app, well, it's fully Indonesian stuff. I have Tokopedia, Shopee, Grab, and Gojek. And on others, it's mostly the apps that came with the iPhone, but I put them here in one folder because I just don't really click them on a daily basis. And then I have this useless folders of apps that I barely use. Actually, I don't think I've ever used any of this anymore, but for some reason I don't delete them. And then I have the calendar, and this is the app that I use to verify my university account and settings. And as I've told you before, I have this to-do list widget. And yeah, that is everything. I hope you enjoy this simple video, which I haven't done in a really long time because I feel like I've only been making vlogs. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't. I mostly make vlogs of my daily life here living in Melbourne. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!